morning, everybody, and welcome to the pre-show to the big show here at Historic Gittone Stadium. It's Senior Day here on Thanksgiving morning. As our seniors get introduced on the field, you'll see it coming across your screen. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa here in the booth with you. And Rich, it's always a good day for Senior Day, and what a perfect way to do it than in the longest-running rivalry in the state and one of the longest in the world.
Yeah, and what a great group of seniors we have coming in already, having Xavier Diaz come in with Noah Cruz, followed up by Rayon Carter and Coach DeShields, former Coach DeShields, but once a coach, always a coach, will take us through the rest of these intros of the seniors.
Senior number 6, Charles Clark Jr., escorted by his mother, Brittany Donaldson, and father, Charles Clark. Number 7, senior Mark Mutcherson, escorted by his parents, Mark and Zakiya Mutcherson. Senior number 9, Mason Afanador, escorted by his grandmom, Lucidia Afanador, and mother, Dana Afanador. Senior number 10, Jose Phoebus, escorted by his mother, Edie Colon, and brother, Anthony Reyes. Senior number 16, Gage Gallo, escorted by his mother, Rhonda Ashwin Gallo, and father, Richard Gallo. Senior number 32, Aiden Martinez, escorted by his mother, Jennifer Cruz, and father, Randy Martinez. Senior number 33, Nalil Span, escorted by his mother, Shakira Riggins, and brother, Stephen Riggins. Senior number 52, Donnie St. Jean, escorted by his parents, Angie and Pierre St. Jean. And senior number 57, Angel Monier, escorted by his parents, Anna and Louis Monier. And now for our senior band members. First of all, we have Lacey Buckingham, escorted by her parents Donald and Sherry Buckingham. Senior Abigail Berger, escorted by her parents Brian and Sherry Berger. Senior Genevieve Carter, escorted by her parents Jane and David Carter. Senior Cassidy Castro, escorted by her mother, Zena Garcia, and grandfather, Angel Garcia. Senior Alexander Carding, escorted by his mother, Denise Hazelwood. Senior Logan Davis, escorted by her aunt, Ramonda Gregory, and mother, Rebecca Vetter. Senior Alyssa Donnelly, escorted by Elizabeth and T.C. Dobson. Senior Iris Giacondo, escorted by her parents, Kristen and Joe Giacondo. Senior Joshua Maldonado, escorted by Dexenia Vasquez and Jose Maldonado. Senior Angelina Medio, escorted by her grandfather Eugene Medio and friends. Senior Brandon Nieves, escorted by father Orlando Nieves and mother Haiti Aquindo. Senior Sebastian Rodriguez, escorted by his father Melvin Rodriguez and grandfather Raymond Rodriguez. And Senior Patrick Spinelli, escorted by his parents Joe and Laura Spinelli. And next are senior cheerleaders. Senior Aubrey Alquist, escorted by her mother Kathy Morales and father Doug Alquist. Senior Tamara Bunton, escorted by her mother Carol Booz. Senior Michaela Giuliani, escorted by her mother Amy Giuliani and sister Katie Giuliani. Senior Rachel Gonzalez, escorted by her mother Michelle Gonzalez and sister Jamie Gonzalez. Senior Geraldine King, escorted by her parents Heather and Gerald King. Senior Christine Lamb, escorted by her parents Henry and Stella Lamb. Senior Jalea Mays, escorted by her mother Janae Gibson and grandmother Lucy Gibson. Senior Malaya Palmer, escorted by her mother Yvette Johnson. Senior Jillian Rodriguez, escorted by her parents, Janine and Frank Rodriguez. Ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder that the NJSIAA requires officials to enforce all rules regarding unsportsmanlike conduct by coaches and players. There will be no tolerance for any negative behavior such as taunting, trash talking, and verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion. Such behavior will result in being ejected from this event. All participants must respect the game and respect their opponents. We encourage all of our athletes, coaches, and fans to thank today's officials for their effort. None of our Vineland High School athletic events would be possible without the officials. Once again, we congratulate our Vineland Athletics 2025 Hall of Fame inductees, Tess Fisher, Jamil Denby, and Isaiah Pacheco. Allen Associates and Paris Signs will sponsor the 2025 ceremony. Please join us for our first girls basketball game of the season on Monday, December 16th in the Ed Harvard Gymnasium. Come out and support our girls as well as our new coach, Miss Ashley Durham, Cornwall. We will also have a very special presentation at halftime of the game, where we award the VHS softball team with their 2024 South Jersey Group 4 Sectional Championship jackets at halftime. Please help keep Gittone Memorial Stadium clean by disposing of your trash after you finish eating. Thank you. Also, please remember that for safety purposes, there will be no re-entry into Gittone Memorial Stadium. Once you walk out, you will not be permitted back in. And we thank again all of our central administration today for attending. At this time, let us welcome the Millville Thunderbolts. Again, we welcome the Millville Thunderbolts. And let's hear it for our very own Vineland High School Fighting Clan.
Good morning, Vineland High School football fans, and happy Thanksgiving here from Historic Gittone Stadium as we prepare for the 153rd meeting between the Fighting Clan of Vineland and the Thunderbolts of Millville. Kyle Bennett here in the booth, joined by the one and only Rich Scarpa. Rich, happy Thanksgiving, my friend, and not the most ideal of weather here for the big game, but nonetheless, it is a historic day each and every year.
Well, a couple things. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, Kyle. And when we look, you mentioned 153, and I've been doing this for quite a while, but right now is the first time we can have a big transition. It's Vineland 67 wins, Millville 66 and 19 ties. And I don't know that you can have people play 153 times and be almost dead even. So this series ups and downs, each team going on runs. Millville on a 4 or 5. Vineland had a 5 before that. And last year, we know it was all Millville all the time. And Millville has that same great team. Millville ranked as high as 3rd in the state, lost the state semifinals for all things, the South Jersey State title, whatever they want to call it, but down to 4 teams left in Group 4, and they lose to a very talented Winslow. Millville comes in as the number 6 ranked public school in the state, and they had to lead at halftime versus Winslow and weren't able to hold on, so they're totally focused in here. And the one thing going in Vineland's favor when you compare teams, that's comparing them on an average day, on an average field. And anytime you have weather conditions factor into a game, that always tends to help the underdog a little bit. And I've done something else to really help the underdog. This is 38 years in the making. I'm taking my headphones off, Kyle. Get ready.
Oh, he's ready to rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen.
Out of the closet, my high school jersey.
Look at that.
From 1986 season. And I didn't steal it to the ADs. I actually coached 1 year at Vineland Midget Football, and they had passed them down. And I'm like, ain't nobody getting number 70. I got my home and away, so between my jersey, oh, they're playing the anthem, and the weather. Years with Coach Parentazzi, Thanksgiving, I would normally bust it out. I haven't done it in a while, and he would say, you look ridiculous. And then he'd say, remember when you could fit shoulder pads in that? And I would tell him how these shrink so much. But let's get down to what's going on here today. A really tough task for Vineland as Millville hopes to tie it all up. Millville with 5 all-conference players, and they're in a whale of a conference, the best one we have. Of course, led by Brooks, the wide receiver, Alabama commit. Big running back, Wallace, who's nearly impossible to bring down by himself. Marcus Offer, the center, also all conference. On the defensive side, it's Collins and Blacksowitz. Got to wait for Elliott to announce that one because I wrote it down and I'm not reading the letters. But one thing Vineland's going to have to try to do is control the football, control the clock. Now, to stop the Millville offense with a big back that can break a lot of tackles, you think you want to creep people up, but with Brooks there, you're almost playing 10 on 11 because you're going to have a safety back over the top. I mean, we're not talking about a very good receiver. We're talking about the all-time leading receiver in the state of New Jersey. And it wasn't just Alabama knocking at his door. Pretty much anybody that he would open the letter from, they were offering. So a very big task for the defense today.
And Vineland is set to receive this opening kickoff here in the 153rd edition of this matchup.
Yeah, and I think today we'll see some long kickoffs. I don't think Millville's going to give Vineland field position for any reason, as they've been battle tested all year long. Well, if you're local and looking out your window, you know it's rainy and overcast. An onside kick attempt right off the top.
And Vineland is all over it. And ladies and gentlemen, we are underway here at Historic Gittone Stadium.
Vineland starting at the 46.
Aiden Barriento comes up with the onside kick. And Rich, you mentioned, Vineland being able to kind of control the game is going to be line of scrimmage, being able to kind of fight those battles in the trenches. But I think one of the advantages here in a not ideal conditions day, something that Vineland didn't have last year, is Charles Clark. We've seen him create opportunities out of the backfield, and if Charles is able to find those edges and be able to run between the tackles like we've seen him do time and time again this year, that's going to be a huge advantage for Vineland. As Calderon starts in shotgun for the Fighting Clan, takes the snap, he swings it on a pass to the outside. It's complete to Mark Mutcherson, and a perfect way to start this game with a first down to senior Mark Mutcherson.
Yeah, Millville sends pressure. A couple of safety and a linebacker blitzing in, and great play call on that first one to get started. But back to what you talk about with Clark. Last year without him, you had guys trying to step up and get it done, and it was hard. With Clark, what we're looking for isn't 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. We're looking for 5 first-down runs, and it gives the offense a chance to control the football. You'd never want to play a shootout with anybody, but not with probably the best shootout team in the state. You wanted to slow this thing down.
Mutcherson in motion takes the handoff, and Millville's all over it, tackled by number 27, Marquise Allen.
Now, I don't know that Vineland's faster than Millville, but on this turf, getting out wide is going to be really hard, especially making that cut up field and holding your footing. It's almost like you have more traction on old grass and dirt that's soggy. You can dig down in it.
So loss of 4 on the receiver handoff, so that brings up 2nd and 14. Calderon takes the snap. He's looking to pass. Millville bringing pressure. Calderon gets the pass away, and it's incomplete off the hands of Mark Mutcherson.
Yeah, Mutcherson got a little screened as Carter crosses in front and kind of between the two. And talk about if you're going to ever have nerves as a high school player, make yourself a freshman. Make yourself the quarterback. Have yourself play against a top 6 team in the state of New Jersey in horrible conditions with a wet football. Talk about the growth that Calderon's going to have after this one. You can stand up to this and fight your way through this, win, lose, or draw. You're prepared for anything else that comes in the future.
So 3rd and 14 here. Calderon looking to pass. He scrambles out, directing traffic, fires, and it's off the hands of Xavion Diaz. A little bit of contact there, but not enough to draw the flag, and that'll bring up 4th and 14.
Well, that offensive line has done a good job providing pass protection on the attempts that we've had, and it's not an easy task to do, and so far in this one, they've stood up to that, giving Calderon time.
A little surprising, I would say, for Vineland to come out throwing on this first drive as much as they did. But we'll see what Coach Hendricks has in his bag as Brosh gets set to punt this one away. And it's a bit of a squib punt, but takes a nice roll for Vineland down near the 20-yard line. So we'll see Millville's offense for the first time, Vineland's defense for the first time in this one. Like you mentioned, Rich, obviously the focal point of this Millville offense is number 1, Latsier Brooks, who we've seen 4 straight years just be an absolute force for this Millville football team.
I remember his freshman year, it was fantastic, of course, but you're like, oh, they got a really good freshman wide receiver, and you're like, okay, heard this before, but they have the best wide receiver the state's ever seen. And always have an arm to get it to him.
Right. So Millville passes here on first down. It's complete. But Vineland's defense all over that one. Xavion Diaz makes the tackle.
Boy,
on Brooks.
They boxed him in to be able to bring him down, which instantly gave me a flashback to when we had Pacheco. I talked to opposing coaches, and they're like, don't go in and try to tackle him. We got to circle him first, circle the wagons, and then converge. We're going to give some yards, but can't let him go, and Vineland did a great job doing that, containing him. No over pursuit from the initial guy.
2nd and 9. Brooks picks up 1 on the screen. Millville under center. It's handed off. And another good stop there for the Fighting Clan defense.
Well, that's what you got to do with Wallace. You've got to get low and hit him low, so 3rd and about 6.
And I think that's one thing we've seen from last year's game to through the entirety of this season for Vineland's defense is the maturity and the development of this defense this year has been spectacular to watch. And Vineland's defense is going to make you earn everything you get, and I like the way that they're playing these matchups right now. 3rd and 7. It's handed off on the reverse, and a great pursuit by Vineland. Rayon Carter in there, as well as a bunch of other Vineland defenders, and they sniffed that one out perfectly. A great opening drive on defense.
Not speaking because I'm waiting to see if the punt team comes. Normally it's always the punt team there, but what's Millville going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Are you going to break Vineland's heart and convert a 4th and forever on your own 24? No, the defense makes a stand, and barring a fake, Vineland will be getting it back right about where they started.
Coach Smith and Coach Shelton have to be pretty pleased with that first drive there from their defense.
And hopefully Diaz can get this one in the air. I think this is where we can make a little hay.
And Millville does punt it away. It's a poor punt. Goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
All right, there's a late hit on Millville.
There.
There's a flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Well, Vineland's going to have great field position.
Mutcherson draws the penalty there. This is a game that can get testy. It can get feisty. There's a lot of bad blood between these two teams. You have to be smart in these games. You can't do anything that's going to cost you, but more importantly, cost your team anything in this matchup.
Personal foul is Millville.
All right.
Personal foul is the penalty call.
Well, let's walk it off. So it looks like we will end up around the 16. Right at the 16-yard line, 1st and 10, Fighting Clan.
Will be 1st and 10 for Vineland. Ball be spotted at
Now,
Millville.
if you're looking so much to go, you're looking upset, these have to get cashed in. This is going to be an opportunity you may not have again with this field position.
This is where you rely on a Charles Clark that you didn't have last year. This is where he has thrived all season long. As Calderon lines up under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's rolling. He fires, lobs it up, and it's out of bounds. Intended receiver was Saquon Anderson.
Pass is incomplete.
So hard to hook up when you're rolling to that one side, but slant in the middle. Looked like Much had a step early, but that play designed on that roll.
Brings up 2nd and 10. Calderon in shotgun. Moves a man in motion. And Vineland hands it off to Clark. Kept his feet churning and a nice little pickup there. It'll bring up 3rd down, but it's 3rd and manageable.
After 1st down, I'm already thinking we don't get yards, we try a field goal in the rain, wet ball, blocked, return. Like, you know what I mean? It's start thinking of the next decision while you still have 2 plays to do it.
3rd and 8 from the 14. So Vineland can still get a first down here without necessarily needing the touchdown on this play. Calderon under center, moves Mutcherson in motion. Takes the snap, hands it off. Clark stays on his feet, churns forward. And Clark cashes in the first down for the Fighting Clan.
And it is. What a big run. Clark hit a pile in the middle and just hid behind there and kept his legs moving, then got some help.
And that's what he does so well, and we've seen it all year since he's come back in that second game this year against ACIT. His feet stay moving until he is on the ground, and even then, you still see his feet churning away. And that's what makes him so dynamic and so valuable to this Vineland offense.
5'9", 190, has some size to him, but that 5'9" lets him hide behind some of these backs.
So Phoebus in there at the fullback position. They pitch it to Clark. Clark making his way upfield. Clark reaches in, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Charles Clark with the Turkey Day touchdown to kick things off here at Gittone Stadium. Vineland has a 6-0 lead early.
Oh, outstanding vision on that. And like I mentioned, the pass blocking was good in that first drive and still was good here, but the run blocking picking up. And let's shout out that starting offensive line. Junior Zach Davis at center. Your guards, DeVell, 6'1", junior, 275. Let's hit the other guard, Donnie St. Jean, the senior at 5'9", 240. Tackles, Aiden Zincraft and Adonai Nava Campos. Just a fantastic job by that O-line.
Vineland going to take a timeout here before the PAT attempt. And the big thing about Adonai, he's never played football before this year, Rich. This is his first year playing live action football and has done a fantastic job on that offensive line.
Yeah, on the podcast I got to hear a couple weeks ago, or not a couple weeks, a couple of shows ago, you know, just his development and how he's learning a game that he's not even watched before.
Between Adonai and then on the defensive side, on the D-line, Brandon Bedoya has never played organized football before either, and he's really come into his own and has been a force on that defensive end edge rusher position for Coach Cliff Smith and Ryan Shelton. And that just shows you the attention to detail and the patience that this coaching staff has, where you have multiple players on this team who have never played organized football, and they have developed into premium players for this team. Vineland sets up for the extra point here. Ball snapped, spotted, kick is up, and it is good. So it's 6:31 to go here in this first quarter. Your Fighting Clan have an early 7-0 lead.
Oh, what a good start. What a good start. And the offense, of course, with the defense, getting that 3 and out. Brooks on an end around. Brooks on another short run. They were able to corral and stop him twice.
And that gives you a little juice here. You know, obviously last year did not go the way you wanted. That sticks in your mind no matter how much you want to say that's in the past. That's something you remember. You use that as a little bulletin board material going into this one to give you some motivation. And you come out and you score first. That gives you a little bit of energy boost here if you're Vineland going into this next drive here on defense, seeing how well your defense performed on that first drive. Vineland's got to feel really good right now, but they can't get too comfortable, and they want to be able to stack on more here, and we'll see what this defense is able to do on their second drive of this game.
Being such a big underdog, what you're trying to do is buy time. That touchdown buys you 4 or 5 minutes, you know, and it's going to take 6 minutes till you're – oh, it's loose. And Vineland has an onside kick converted off the Millville defender before the 10 yards, but then loose on the ground for Vineland.
Mason Afanador comes up with it. And Vineland's offense is going to head back out on the field. Coach Ryan Shelton is fired up.
You know, and that's something that gets you through. It's emotion can carry you a quarter. new play sets and strategies can buy you a quarter, and then you try to get to a half. And instead, Vineland with the onside kick, going for that extra early. Now it's time to heave this baby deep to Diaz. Vineland, 3 receivers at the bottom, 1 spread to the top. Lone back is Clark.
Calderon lines up in shotgun. Motion. Calderon looking to pass. He's firing deep. It's 1-on-1. And incomplete, push out of bounds was Mark Mutcherson.
Well, Mutcherson and Brooks in a little bit of a battle there. Much comes down with it, but Brooks does a good job bumping him out of bounds, not able to get the foot down. Now I hit him with a delay or a belly draw, you know.
2nd and 10 here for Vineland.
It's the other thing you talk about Brooks as a receiver, but he almost won him a game defensively last week. Deshaun Jackson, you know, you throw a fly ball, it's getting tracked and a nice battle, and Much up for it.
Bunch of motion here.
Timeout, Vineland.
So Vineland down to 1 timeout remaining in this first half.
Reminder again, we got some turkey wings in our concession stand. $8. Whether you have a turkey when you go home or not, we got some good, tasty turkey wings. Go to the concession stand for $8.
And the rain has picked up quite a bit. So to pull something like this off, you need the turnover battle won. You've got a special teams play already, yet alone you made your kick, which making a kick isn't the easiest thing, but in this weather, it's one of the harder things. And only get harder as your shoes are totally soaked, no stuck firm contact.
So Vineland comes out of the huddle. 2nd and 10.
Off sides. Good job, boys. So Vineland again gets set, then moves and adjusts their formation. And when they do that, you know, if you're just keyed into offensive movement, you draw the defense off.
Moving on up.
Good sets, good movement, great play calling thus far, mixing it up. Coach Hendricks bringing the A game.
Calderon hands this one off to Clark. Clark trying to find that edge. He gets the end around. Stays on his feet.
First down.
Great run by Charles Clark once again. And he's a silent leader, as Coach Guzman told me this week. You know, he leads by example, doesn't say too much. But you have to know Charles is coming into this game knowing it means that much more because he missed out on last year's game.
Exactly. He's waited over a year for this, you know, and to be so patient, you know, you're like, I can play, I'm ready, and then you're still waiting. Not for the slow start at ACIT, probably wouldn't have had a carry there, but led us back. And then each week the offense has improved.
Empty set here for Calderon. QB keeper, and he slides.
A little bit of a botch play, looking for an inside handoff to a counter.
2nd and 9 here for Vineland as Phoebus checks in.
Could slide quite a ways today. As we creep under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. That Vineland defense has just faced 3 plays by the powerful Millville offense today.
Motion. Calderon takes the snap, hands it off. Clark Gets sniffed out there.
Great job by that defense. 3 guys waiting in the hole for Clark. Nothing he can do with that one.
Xavier McBride makes the stop.
The third down.
Third down here for Vineland.
Third about 13 yards to go for the first.
Loss of 4 there, so 3rd and 13.
Millville has a Breon Cobb Jr. and a Breon Cuff. Breon Cobb and Breon Cuff were 2 names we had. Assuming family. They're all to the left. Back to the original line of scrimmage for 4th down. Not able to plant and push off.
The ball be spotted right at the 40. Brings up 4th down. 4th and 11 yards to go for the first.
Offense coming out. Let's send that special teams in. I always get suspicious when it takes a little time before you send anything out of the norm, any different communication.
So Brosh. And a flag flies in.
12 on Vineland. So 5-yard penalty. Vineland will still be kicking it away. And of course, Brooks back to return it.
Good snap, Brosh. I think that one might have gotten tipped a little bit as it went end over end, just pop-up style, and goes out of bounds towards that Vineland sideline. So Vineland's defense will make its way out on the field, trying to replicate what they did their first time out.
Well, that shows you it's not easy to be punting, whether blocked or not, especially to be able to have to move away from pressure, as both punters have had to move and kick. And like I said, there's no room for error with a wet football and a wet shoe. You kind of slip off it like a slice in your golf game.
1st and 10. Brooks in motion. They hand this one off. And a nice trip up there on Wallace by the Vineland defense.
Wallace pushes forward like Superman and picks up about 4. He really finished that one off nice.
2nd and 6. We'll hand this one off again. A good stop, but we'll see where they spot it. Number 2 on the carry for Millville.
It's enough for the 1st down. And Millville real quick to the ball.
They hand it off again.
Ball carried in number 2.
There's a flag.
Flag on the play.
It's from the back judge. Now we had that, I think it was the last game where there's flags, and now we're picking them all up. Yeah, it's been really good so far. And the penalty is on Vineland. Okay, so that was the player getting off the field late. He made it by the line judge, and I thought, ooh, gave us a little break, but the back judge, that's what he saw, that he didn't make it off the field before the snap, as Millville went really quick to hurry up. So it's not even like you can say, why didn't you get out? Because you turn around, look and see what the set is, and they're back up there ready to snap it.
Three receivers to the bottom of your screen from Millville. Looking to pass.
Screen.
Fires. Completes it. And tackled, but Millville picks up another first down.
Nicely executed center screen. Nice thing about that is when you complete it behind the line of scrimmage, your lineman can then get upfield before the catch. Millville right back to it again, 2nd and 1.
They hand it off. Wallace picks up the first down.
They got to make them earn it, nickel and dime it up the field.
So the play would be a first down from Millville.
It's almost like 2nd and 1, you'd rather have a 1st and 10 because chances are, even when I'm watching pro games, I'm like, wish they would just had the first down. So 1st and 10, Millville on the move, first time in Vineland territory as we approach the end of the first quarter. Vineland sending pressure here.
Millville inside handoff to number 8.
Yeah, this roster of ours is hurting a little bit.
I went and looked on the other site that they use, and it's listed the same exact way. They hand it off. Wallace finds an edge and walks into the end zone.
Number 3.
But there is a flag.
Bring it back now, y'all. Looks
Got
like
stopped this time.
going to be a hold at around the 9. Push him to the 19. Boy, Wallace is thick, and that's in a good way. Muscular, thick, wide, not a soft spot you want to try to tackle. Used to have it was actually Breon Cobb back in the day, a fullback that all you got to hit were knees and elbows, and it wasn't a pleasure even at practice to try to tackle.
So one last play here in this first quarter.
Did somebody get over the slot?
They hand it off to Brooks. And a good seal and contain there by Vineland.
Well, I think I want to take credit for that because it was 2nd and 1, and I say just give them the first. Instead, tackle Brooks for a loss of about 4.
And that will do it for the first quarter here for the 153rd meeting between Vineland and Millville. Your Fighting Clan with a 7-0 lead thanks to Charles Clark getting into the end zone. For Vineland, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back right at the start of the second quarter. You're watching Thanksgiving Day football right here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. And welcome back, everybody. Second quarter about to get underway here as Millville moves a man in motion. Botched the snap there. QB picks it up, but Vineland able to take him down. A great stop there. Mason Afanador hits a little Allen Iverson action and does a step over as Vineland gets a big-time stop there.
And they have a chance to stop Millville here on 4th and about 8. Millville out to Vineland 21. Boy, a stop here is big. A stop and a little grind.
Big down here for the Vineland defense. 4th and 7.
Oh, delay on Millville.
Push him back, move him back, all the way back.
This is my sister Diana when I was playing. She was right like underneath the ambient mic, and you'd hear, push him back, shove him back, sack back, quarterback. She was the good loud fan that we have here. He's awesome. This is a big play. They put Brooks to the short side of the field. He's all the way at the bottom.
4th and 14 officially. They're looking to pass here. Some pressure. Firing. And incomplete.
There is a flag, but it's in the offensive backfield, not on the contact down there. And the holding call is right from our fan. It is the hold on Millville. Vineland declines and takes over at their own 27-yard line.
I believe it was Rayon Carter in there to kind of disrupt that pass from being completed. So a nice effort there by number 4.
Ball being spotted right at the 26.
Oh, the 26.
That's where Vineland will take over.
So right here, a couple first downs, run the ball a little bit.
First and 10 here for Vineland. 10:37 to go in this quarter. Scramble motion there. More motion as a swing pass is dropped by Charles Clark.
Good job he dropped it. They would have lost about 5. And he would have got hit the second at it. Yeah, running that to the short side kind of threw the timing off a little bit. Usually you can belly and get a little wider, but Vineland trying to sneak it on that short side and just really threw the timing and the pass off a little bit. And really, then you give Clark not a lot to run, so you're hoping to catch him sleeping there. So starting out all alone back there is Calderon.
5 receiver set. Clark in motion. Hands it off. Another reverse here for Vineland. Can they find that edge? They do. And a nice little receiver run there by Rayon Carter.
Just missing one block. And it was the first block. You know, missing that one made him belly wide where the sideline was going to do him in.
He got enough there for the first down. So fresh set here for Vineland.
It's the first time we've seen the reverse.
Empty set again. Calderon looking to pass. Fires. And it's through the hands of Saquon Anderson, incomplete.
Yeah, 7 had a play on it. You know, Millville's D-backs have been in great position whenever we try to throw it up the field more than 5 yards. And that's scary, you know. You don't want to have a turnover, especially when you're on your own side of the field.
So 2nd and 10 now for Vineland. Under 10 minutes to go in this half.
It's weird how wide hash marks are in high school, and then in the pros they're about 8 yards apart.
Mutcherson moves in motion into the backfield. Spin move, spin move.
The ball's loose, picked up by Millville to the 30, trying to get an edge to take it home, and pushed out of bounds at the 19.
Didn't even see the ball pop out there. And
I didn't see that he had it. I just saw him running like that, and I'm like, he must have it.
Unfortunate turn of events there for Vineland. I believe it was 57 that came up with it. That's Octavian Spence. So now Vineland's defense back out there to try to get a stop.
And not much room to work with.
Looking to pass. They're firing Brooks' way. And it's intercepted in the end zone. Mason Afanador comes up with the interception. And Vineland takes it right back.
I don't know if it was Rojas Torres. It was hard for me to pick up the number that was in coverage down there, and did enough to keep Brooks away that just opened it up for the interception. Like we talked pregame, you've got your cover guy and you got somebody over the top. Well, this time the over the top of Fanador able to come down with it, and aside from Vineland losing 6 yards from where they were, they got a fresh set of downs on the 20, and that's basically 2 turnovers, the onside kick and the interception, and Vineland ready to go 1st and 10.
Phoebus was the motion man. They look his way, and it's incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. There's a 2nd down.
They're trying to hit some short passes, try to keep that clock moving, but it's been a little rough, and I know I think different, and we all think a little different about things, but to me, my first thought is 1st down, I got at least 3 minutes off this clock. If I get a 1st down, you know, more on the conservative side of things.
Calderon moves Mutcherson in motion, and a whistle.
Possibly Vineland not getting set. Wow, delay. I'm sure it was a delay, but it was like you usually get a feeling, you know, this is taking a little time or whatnot. So Vineland backed up. It's going to be
2nd and 15. They hand it off.
There's a little space in there, and he attacked that run well.
George Figueroa III on the carry.
But it's kind of like there's not a big hole to run through. There's 1.5 yards here, then I got to move over about 1 yard to get a 1/2 yard, then back to the left. If somebody can do it, it'll be Clark, and you just hope one pops for you.
3rd and 13 for Vineland.
Well, all this passing is keeping Millville from stacking up the box, though, so there is a big advantage for it that way.
Figueroa III remains in the game. Calderon passes, and it's broken up.
Oh, nice play.
Pass is complete. There's a 4th down.
That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that was Anderson. The defender had a step to the ball. It was almost Anderson breaking it up instead of the defender because he had nothing but yards in front of him. So offense not able to convert 1st down on this drive, and Brosh back to kick. He's standing at his own 4-yard line.
8:39 to go here in this 2nd quarter. A much better punt there from Brosh, and takes a nice little bounce for Vineland. Rolls, rolls, rolls.
That ball just tracked down Cruz, but Only difference of 2 yards on it as it was heading out of bounds. But, you know, that's a really good punt because if Brosh puts his foot into it and boots it 40, 45 yards, you have one of the best players in the state ready to run with some open field.
So 8:28 to go in this second quarter. Vineland's defense looking to continue their momentum they have had throughout this game. Made some big stops. Afanador came up with the interception their last time out. 1st and 10. McBride in motion. They hand it off to number 2. And Afanador makes the stop.
So Vineland special teams defense keeping them in this right now. As I circle turnovers and counting turnover on downs, Vineland turnover on downs against Millville, and interceptions, an onside kick recovery, and they answered right back to one turnover they had on the fumble the next play with an interception.
Millville looking to pass, fire, complete it, but Vineland all over it. Mutcherson there to make the initial contact, and they finally bring down the receiver. Number 12.
Vineland, I think it was Diaz, came flying up and didn't get there, and then Mutch is stuck by himself and does an outstanding job wrapping and holding. Of course, Diaz comes running back to help clean it up. Good team defense on that play.
3rd and 3. Millville in shotgun. They hand it off to number 2. Number 2 finds some space, picks up a 1st down and then some, brings it down to the 30-yard line.
If you're Millville, you just, number 2, a little bit upset out. You don't want to get a dumb penalty while you're driving.
They hand it to him
Wide
again.
open.
He's got open space. Picks up a 1st down and more, and finally taken down by Barrius Hill for the Fighting Clan.
Right around the 15. Will be 1st and 10 for Millville. Ball spotted.
So Millville on the move now, as we're about halfway through this second quarter.
It's number 2 again, but Vineland there to make a stop.
Ball carrier again is number
Donnie
2.
St. Jean, Hill,
Phoebus.
No gain on the play for the 2nd down.
all in that pile.
2nd and 10.
Well, no gain. Great job. It's weird, time of possession in Millville's favor, but plays in Vineland's favor.
Millville under center. They hand it off to number 2 again.
Number 2 on the carry
Late surge
again.
is going to get him about 6.
Ball down to about
About
the
5.5 minutes to
9.
go
Down.
by the time this next play gets off. Third and 4. They hand it off. And a flag flies in.
Nice.
It's going to be a holding call against Millville.
There is a flag on the play. You're holding on
It was a good call on the whole, but it's the effort from Vineland's defense that makes the stop, but draws the hold through continually fighting. As we get ready, we were talking pregame about the Parentazzi Serace Cup that the winner of this game gets, and that was always Coach Parentazzi. I'm playing defense for him. I'm like, he's holding me. He's like, you're not fighting hard enough to get a call. Like, you've got to keep fighting through it, get press and extension so the officials can see it. If you let them stay in tight, you're not going to get it. And just the desire to control that edge for Vineland gets the foul seen and called. So now 3rd and about 13.
They mark it 3rd and 14. Motion.
Late
They're
start.
going to hand it off to Wallace. And Vineland stops him before he can pick up a first down. So 4th down upcoming.
And they're ready to go right away. You look at the field, and it's like, it doesn't look like it's raining that hard. Then you look down at the cheerleaders, and it's coming down. Big opportunity here for Vineland to make that stop. Last Millville possession, it was intercepted in the end zone from the red zone. And now Millville 4th and about 6. Vineland going to use a timeout. Good, good. Big play of the game. You know, it's not like we need to be saving time. You know, big play. Good job taking that timeout, going over everything that you got to do. Make sure you have your personnel based on the set they just showed you.
That is Vineland's final timeout of this half.
But fear not, they're going to get 3 more next half, Kyle.
Correct.
There we are. Now, but I think, you know, we talk a lot about it. You know, timeouts aren't just for managing the clock. You know, it's also like in baseball, a mound visit. It is just to right yourself, understand, and prepare for what is a big batter or a big play. And sometimes just thinking of clock management, like, isn't the way to go. We watch Vineland take timeouts on both sides of the ball, but defensively to regroup. You know, and this is the play that is going to buy that more time for Vineland.
4th and 5.
Watch the ball, boys. Watch the ball.
It's snapped. It's handed off to Wallace.
Oh, way to finish. Way to finish. Oh, my goodness. Doesn't matter. It's 4th, and he's short.
And Vineland gets the stop. Turnover on downs, a huge play for the Vineland defense.
It looked to me like it was Cruz. It's really hard to tell down there that as Wallace is finishing forward, somebody back there, and I thought it was Cruz, came up and sealed him to not let him extend for the first down. Just an outstanding job by the senior or whoever that was.
The way they were coming off the field, it looked like it was the duo of Cruz and Afanador.
Well, Fanador's starting, well, he's played well, but last game he had all the energy. And even when things were down, he was bringing some swagger and continuing it here as those two combined.
So 1st and 10 for Vineland from their own 6-yard line. 4 minutes, 12 seconds to go in this first half.
2 hands on the ball.
They'll hand it off.
Nothing there, going to lose a couple.
It's Figueroa the 3rd again on the carry. It's 3 straight plays we've seen him run the ball.
2nd down. Second and 14.
And we got to
14.
Got a fullback in this time.
It's Figueroa the 3rd again, trying to find that outside, and there's a flag on the play.
Well, the spot is where holding's called. I didn't see any head turn. See, Millville had everybody up that time, and you don't want to throw it, but if you pop through, like there's some daylight. Millville bust out the brass on the far side. So Millville's going to decline it. Modest gain on the play of about 4, but it's also going to set up a 3rd down. Why they just said they declined. No, they accepted now. So we're back at the 3 on 2nd down and 13.
Was accepted. The 2nd down.
Anderson in motion. They hand it off to Figueroa, the 3rd.
Ball goes in the 3 for Vineland. This ball goes to 5 to 6.
Now Millville's going to use a timeout, try to save some time for the offense as quickly we're down to 3:05 to go. Vineland's defense with 2 4th-down stops. And Millville so far not able to get Brooks or any receivers open. And, you know, it's the same thing last year. We talked all last year about what Vineland did well, and it was their defensive backs and edging into linebackers, and Millville just tore that unit apart last year. And now Vineland's holding up in that regard. The young offensive line, I mean, you're asking them to open up holes when the quarterback's heels are on the goal line and everybody's up in the box. But early in this, they showed they could run block some, and the pass protection was as good as it's been, but you can't do everything in your playbook when you're in this situation. 3rd and 10.
Calderon fires, completes it
Pass is completed.
to Saquon Anderson.
Boy, nice play through right where the linebackers came from. Just not enough for the first in that setting, but that's something you can come back to later.
12, 4th down.
Gives Brosh a little bit of breathing room here on this punt.
Heck, if I was Brooks, I'd stand 10 yards behind my defensive line and try to get it there. He isn't as deep as he has been, but he's settled in at the 38-yard line.
Low snap, but Brosh gets it away. Swirling punt takes a favorable Millville bounce, but then rolls back in Vineland's way. And it'll be downed at about the 36-yard line.
I'll take it.
Interesting there, that entire drive from the running back position, we didn't see Charles Clark, but then he was in on that punt play for special teams. So hopefully everything's okay with Charles, and we'll see him back in there.
The only thing I could think is back in there, you're having the fullback go first. Sometimes that could get in the way, and if you do pop it, Figueroa could do something, but I thought it was a blimp going by.
Where is Goodyear?
Used to be across the street.
This one's
there's
handed
an
off
opening.
and plenty of room to run, but a nice big hit there by Rayon Carter.
And Millville ready to go right away.
Under 2 minutes to go. They hand it
There
off
we
again,
are.
but Jose Phoebus and Charles Clark in there at the end to make the stop. Great initial contact by Phoebus.
Phoebus, Clark, Cruz, but Phoebus getting it started, and he had his buddies with him.
1:41 to go. Millville calls their second timeout.
25 with the 2nd and 12.
Second and about 12.
It's weird, like, you're doing good, or you're overachieving, or you're doing bad. It's like I'm quiet and I'm thinking everything through. When it's a regular old game, it's like, oh, nice stop, da-da-da-da-da. But this is a big one that you came in as a big dog, and now you're just one drive away from having a lead at halftime, and Cliff Smith's defense and Ryan Shelton's and everybody's having a shutout in the first half.
2nd and 12. They hand it off to Wallace, but Vineland's defense stops him in his tracks.
Ball spotted at the 21. The 3rd down.
A little quick to it again. They hand it off to Wallace.
Uh-oh.
He gets around the outside, and Wallace is in for a touchdown.
That pops the balloon for a second. 26-yard run.
A lot of quick to the line plays there for Millville. And they are on the board with 1 minute and 12 seconds to go until halftime. As we await the PAT attempt. Ball spotted, kick is up. And it is just barely good, but good nonetheless. We are all tied up at 7-7 with 1:12 to go until halftime, where Millville will receive the second half kickoff.
Well, when you look at that, even with Millville gaining ground on the field, we talked earlier that with the setup with Millville and what they're able to do, you're playing 10 on 11. And if Vineland were to press the box like Millville did on that last drive, then it just switches and it goes to the passing attack. It's a simple audible. So with Vineland playing somebody over the top, you've taken the best player in the state and held him to about 6 yards this half. Last year at halftime, I think he had 206 yards at least. So you have to give something to stop something. And we talk about it in pro football. Oh, Jalen Carter for the Eagles is so good. He gets a double. He frees up people on singles. Teams have to account for him and play 10 on 11. And that's what Vineland's doing. And if you would say, hey, we're going to get to halftime with Millville with one score, you say play that defense the rest of your life. Right. You know, and to have the half they've had now, it's not even get point. It's hold on to the ball. And let's get into halftime. This can't have a negative thing happen here. Watch the onside kick. Millville did it the first time.
They boom this one. It'll be returned. Xavier Diaz gets tripped up. He saw the vision there.
Oh, so close. What a nice tackle for Millville. Just getting the arm out and hitting him in the thigh. That would have been a foot race.
And not many people are able to catch Xavier Diaz in the open field. So 1:04 to go. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line. Calderon in shotgun. Motion. Takes the snap. Hands it off. Looking for a hole. Solid run on first down there by Charles Clark.
One more.
Pickup of 3 on the play.
2nd down.
2nd and 7. Calderon, delayed handoff to Clark. Tries to reverse his field, and
nice
he gets
tackle.
hit hard by number 8.
All players start. Stop them, take one, take them in the zero zone. And it's moving.
And that should do it for this first half.
Nice half, boys.
Here at Historic Gittone Stadium, Charles Clark cashed in the first touchdown of the game. Millville answered with 1:12 to go in this half. And we head into halftime, all tied up at 7 here in the 153rd meeting between Vineland and Millville here on Thanksgiving Day. We'll be back after halftime in what has been an exciting game here in the rain. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Thanksgiving Day football right here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. We'll see you in the third quarter.
Yeah, let's hear it for the Fighting Clan cheerleaders out there braving that weather. Great job, ladies. Great job, great job, great job. As usual, as usual. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will take the time to recognize one last person here, our head of our athletic maintenance department, Mr. Joe Pettit. You know he'll be retiring this year. We just thank him again for the many, many, many years of service to Vineland High School. And if everybody this time will pay a little attention to the Teletron right there at the west end of the stadium. Yeah, check it out. Oh. Do you see that? Oh, and it reads, next year is our 30th anniversary. Sissy, will you marry me again? I see smiles on the face, so I guess that's a yes. Oh yeah, it's true. It's true. Congratulations, Joe and Sissy, on your 30th anniversary. Now I have one more special treat for you. Play a nice little song here for you if I can, if this works right, like I planned it to, okay? This is from Polaroid Fade. I know you all heard Polaroid Fade. Stars, again, one of our graduates here from Vineland High School, Nicoletta Giuliani. Yeah, so let's check the music out. Yes, sir, that's Polaroid Fade. Again, starting our very own Nicoletta Giuliani. Okay, that song's called Bliss, and it's out on Apple Music right now, so I know you like the tune. So check them out. You can purchase this single, of course. Again, that's Polaroid Fade. Just a reminder again that at the in the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter, concessions will close. So if you're interested in getting food, make sure you make it there. Oh, take your legs. Oh, it's true. Make sure you make it there before the end of the third quarter, because the concessions will close at the end of the third quarter. Thank you. Remember, we got some pretty good pro football games going on this afternoon as well. Detroit Lions will be taking on the Chicago Bears. First game of the afternoon, NFL Pro. Then the Dallas Cowboys will be taking on the New York Giants. And tomorrow, the Chiefs will be taking on the Raiders. And this evening at 8:20, the Green Bay Packers will be taking on the Miami Dolphins. Turkey and football. No one does it better. Hurry up and get those turkey legs, they're going quick. Oh yeah, it's football time again.
And welcome back, everybody, to Historic Gittone Stadium here on this Thanksgiving morning. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa here in the booth with you as we get set for second half action of the 153rd meeting between the Fighting Clan of Vineland and the Thunderbolts of Millville. And Rich, it wasn't a high-scoring first half, but it was an exciting first half of football. 7-7 is your score. And we've got a nice little game on our hands here going into the second half as Vineland prepares to kick off and send it to Millville to start things here for the third quarter.
As my brain drifts out because I'm like, all right, Millville's getting the ball first. Got to do something really good here. We've got to keep them on their side of the field before they punt. But the tension is back on.
This one is
Onside out of bounds.
So flag will fly to kick things off here.
You know, last year I thought, why not onside kick all the time? They're running up and down the field so fast. To kill some of their stats and have them get a 40-yard touchdown instead of an 80-yard touchdown. Yeah, I remember last year it was Millville big lead it to half and then onside kick to start the third. Boom. So because that went out of bounds, there's a penalty on the play. As they jockey around, it looks like Millville's going to start in Vineland territory, but just briefly here at the 47-yard line.
About 47, Vineland, be first and 10 for Millville.
This one's handed off. It's Wallace. He's got a first down on the first play from scrimmage here.
Yeah, this first drive is the big drive. Millville quickly back on the ball because, you know, fired up at halftime, get your heads where they belong, let's go. So confidence high with Millville. You got to try to do something to put a little concern, not doubt, a little concern in them.
Hand it to Wallace again.
Close that down.
Wallace finds his edge. Diaz in pursuit. And takes him down before the goal line.
Millville sprinting up to the ball. You know, outside contained man with nobody on. You got to squeeze. You got to squeeze and take some of that space away.
Be first and goal.
They give it to Wallace. Still churning his feet.
Anything.
And touchdown just like that for Millville. A quick drive to start this third quarter. And they have their first lead of this ball game.
And why is the clock still running? They'll take care of that. There we got it. Just over a minute.
Spotted, kick is up, and it is good. So 10:57 to go here in the third quarter. It's 14-7 Millville.
Wallace gets his feet under him, adds to some stats, gets Millville in the end zone quick. Momentum has turned. You know, and the Vineland offense has been moving with the I think, not that they don't believe, but that train going up the hill, you know, and it's hard to get the ball first downs. It's really hard on that Millville defense to get big plays. So you grind uphill all the way, and you got it tied up at half, and then boom, it happens quick.
So Vineland will look to answer here.
Good opportunity on the kickoff, as last time it was a thigh slap that took Diaz down before he could have returned it, well, if not all the way into the red zone.
Mm-hmm. They'll send this one deep. It is Diaz. And he takes it up, looking for his lane, slips up, and he's brought down around the 20-yard line.
Really good tackle by the Millville defender. Not an easy play to make. He breaks down and makes it stop.
Ball spotted around 19.
Ball spotted at the 19.
So in that first half, Millville possessed the ball 5 times, came away with 7 points. 1 for 1.
And it's Clark in there ready to take a direct snap. picks up a couple.
I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, where it's like
Pick up a
almost,
one on the play. He's on
almost.
Second down and 9. Ball is spotted right at the 20.
And if Vineland hopes to win this, I believe they're going to have to pop one of them through. I mean, Millville is just overly committing to the line.
Motion there for Vineland. They hand it off. Clark picks up a couple.
Walker is called again. Ball is spotted at 23.
Injuries and such as set Clark back from his initial trajectory. He's a heck of a football player, and if you just get the newspaper and say, oh, 9 carries, 34 yards, you know, working with an inexperienced line that has gotten better each week, just like we say, Barkley coming to the Eagles went from a good running back to maybe he is on pace to have the most yards ever in a season because he's behind an experienced line, and that's what's going to help next year's group of backs.
Vineland hands this one off. It's Clark again.
Millville really good in pursuit, as you see all but one guy by the football, and he was the corner covering the far receiver. Like, they really have great pursuit angles, and just when you think you're through, there's another one coming and another one. Great job defensively for the Thunderbolts, holding Vineland to a 3-and-out. Brosh is set, no pressure. Hits this one towards the sideline and out, probably about the 44-yard line. 46.
Ball is spotted 46. Will be first and 10 from Millville. Ball spotted line 46.
So right about where Millville was before at the 47 after the penalty on the onside kick.
Vineland's defense looking to rebound after giving up the quick touchdown to start this quarter.
I thought he dropped that one, yeah.
Handed off to number 2. He finds the hole. Ball's on the ground, and it's picked up by Millville.
Thought we caught a break with the fumble call. Kind of looked like he was down. Millville picks it up for the first.
Ball spotted 34. First and 10 from Millville.
Handed off to 2 again.
Man, there's 3 seconds in between plays here. They're trying to keep Vineland from getting set in what they want.
Looking to pass, they fire. It's complete.
Pass complete on fourth
To number
down,
7.
The ball's going to be spotted right around the
You want to cross off the 1 from this guy and start giving him some credit.
Ball spotted line 16.
Almost like Millville forcing their rhythm by going with this hurry up. They did a little bit in the first half, but Vineland's not wandering around, but
Number 2 takes the handoff.
there's something different when you have about 7 seconds after they come out to get set. Remind yourself your responsibilities, read your keys, know what to look for coming across the other way. But right now, there's barely time to breathe, and that pressure makes Vineland take a defensive timeout.
Their first.
Kind of like in boxing, you're landing that jab and you just keep jabbing in the face, and they're not thinking offense or how to defend it, just absorbing and trying to breathe some air. Feels like it's getting a little colder. Rally cry from the back as Montrose Street Rooster gives out a call.
2nd and 3. They hand it off again to number 2.
It's like enough for the first down, but a modest 2-yard gain played well by the defense. Barriento on that stop.
First and goal, ball spotted at 5.
So 1st and goal from the 5. It's handed off. And a good stop.
Group of players in there driving backwards. Donnie St. Jean stops the forward momentum.
Second and goal.
No gain on play for the 2nd down. 2nd and goal, ball spotted still on the 5.
Hand it off to number 2. He's down short of the goal line.
Carry. Brings the ball down to around the 1. Will be 3rd and goal.
Spotted at the 1.
I'll tell you, being a defensive lineman, this is annoying when they go that quick.
Number 2 has a wide open entry to the end zone for the touchdown. .523 to go here in this 3rd quarter. It's now 20-7 pending the extra point attempt.
It's time to slow it down a little bit when Vineland gets his ball back.
Ball snap, kick is spotted, it's up, and it is good. So 2 touchdown lead now for Millville.
So 2 scores in 6 minutes starting this 3rd quarter, when the first half 0 scores in the first 20 minutes. First hot chocolate of the year, Kyle. So maybe one more gasp here, just throwing it a little deeper or something. But all in all, you played really well. You don't want the finish to be long shot attempts that lead to turnovers. You know, you want to keep playing it straight.
This one's sent deep. It's corralled.
Touchback, I guess.
There.
When he possessed it, his foot was in the end zone. So Vineland at the 20. Rain continues to fall.
5:21 to go in this third quarter.
There's a few carries on the last drive by Clark. Vineland using some more lead backs.
Hand it off.
Clark on the carry. Pick up a 3 in the play. Give the second down to 7.
See if they try to get it to Mutcherson. He's been
Lost by the 23.
doing some blocking. Would like to see him with the ball in his hands, or they had that one good seam pass, but that was with Millville selling out against the run. Millville kind of just sitting back and reading. Offsides Millville.
Delay game on.
Oof. Delay of game on Vineland.
Watching Millville taking 4 seconds between plays, and haven't had a lot of that this year. Second and about 12. Vineland trying to respond. Yet to throw it this half.
Anderson in motion. It's handed off. Not much there for Clark.
Real well-disciplined defense by Millville, not over-pursuing as all-conference Marcus Alfer just holds his ground and turns it into support.
Third down. About 12 yards to go for the first.
Need a little spark here.
Calderon rolling out, fires, completes it. Finding a lane was Mutcherson, but he's tackled.
And I was asking for a little much. I wasn't asking for. I was asking for a little much.
Goes 25 to about 27. There's a fourth down.
So that'll bring up fourth down.
And Vineland will punt.
Fourth, about 3 yards to go for the first.
I think down 3 scores, you'd go for this, but it's only 2.
4th and 3.
And if you set Millville up there the way they're running the ball and how quick they're moving, you're almost like guaranteeing they're getting in, or at least a very high probability.
And it's a direct snap on the end around. There goes Mark Mutcherson. And he picks up a first down for Vineland on the fake punt. A great play there.
Too much on those last 2 plays. And what was nice was sometimes if a team's running a fake, it's like people whispering, coaches talking, them barely getting on the field. Just ran it like a regular punt. And Mutcherson gets the first down. Now, it wasn't Mutcherson just running into open space. He set up the defender, got to the outside of him. I think everybody on both sides looked a step slow because of these conditions.
1st and 10 here for Vineland. Calderon looking to pass. Firing. And it's kind of in the middle of the 2 receivers there, Saquon Anderson was the receiver it fell short for. And a bit of an overthrow for Xavier Diaz.
Yeah, I look back to the preseason Guzman's gridiron, and we talked about quarterback competition in the room being so close. And we're going to start with Calderon, the freshman. And not only has he grown throughout the year, he's held his spot throughout the year because they're banging and practicing every day, and everything's always being evaluated. And he's held on to it and shown a lot of growth. You know, unfortunately, the last freshman quarterback we had, all-state player Danny Russo, you know, transferred, moved to Delsea for his junior and senior year, and fantastic guy, but you spend the time as a freshman, and then sophomore you're more than a plus player, and then it continues to grow. So hopefully Calderon continues to live in the area and is here, because the seniors that are looking to do something, like having a freshman quarterback comes with some pain. Having freshmen starting, it's always awesome for a team, but when you're a senior, it's like, we're not as ready as we need to be. But these guys will get there. When, like last year, you had all seniors up front. Well, this is your senior class. You got a whole senior offensive line. Do your thing, and it is what it is. Coach Parentazzi used to say, for every freshman you start, it's a loss. He was very critical of that, and he never had freshmen play varsity. Didn't practice with anybody. So procedure on Vineland. But the experience, as I'm mentioning, that they gain moving forward pays off in spades down the road.
Second and 15.
And just how commendable to be able to run an offense in a Group 5 school under adverse situations and continue to grow. Be there every week. You know, struggle through injuries, struggle through bad days. That Eastern was a bad game, you know, for everybody. I think one thing from Coach Russo on that we've done well is have that week 0 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you face a team that didn't play. There's so many little things from pregame warm-up, you know, and to procedures that you're doing to prepare for games. Like watching the Eagles the first 4 weeks, and you're like, are they any good?
3rd and 15 here for Vineland. Calderon looking to pass. Pressure. Fires it, and it's incomplete.
Well, Millville got through real quick on that one. I kind of was looking for a screen pass as quick as they got through. Good job by that defensive line of the Thunderbolts. So Vineland's punt team in as we approach the end of the 3rd quarter.
Brosh gets a nice snap and a solid punt. This one will be returned by Brooks. He brings it up past the 45, out to midfield, goes out of bounds. And that's where Millville will set up shop.
I was like, sweet, we're going to catch a clip. And what a good job by the Millville defender getting in front of the Vineland player.
At the 49.
Brooks showing a little bit of the wear of an injury he's been fighting through. As you've seen, an explosive burst, and he's in there every play still. I mentioned his presence on offense, what it does to a defense, but him being back there playing center field, when he needs to turn it on, he can. He certainly didn't want to miss this last Thanksgiving Day game before heading out to Alabama. High tide. You see that commercial?
Millville looking to pass. Throw underneath to Brooks. And Brooks has plenty of room to run, and he's going to take it all the way in for a touchdown, his first of the game. And it's now 27-7 Millville.
Well, Vineland comes out of their 4-deep umbrella coverage package. Quarterback sees that, and play one without playing quarters on the back half is a touchdown. And that just feeds right to the comments we had about how valuable having a player like that is.
Ball spotted, kick is up, and it is good.
Kind of like universal basic guy. Run the ball. All you got to do is run the ball, right?
So with 11 seconds here in the third quarter, it's now 28-7 Millville.
And just the ability of Brooks to get in there, and it's almost like a jog compared to what we've seen. And not happy he scored, but it's nice that he can get one in his last game, if not more coming up, but get one in his last game, because he's just been so valuable and incredible player for Millville. Worn down, banged up, and kind of woke him up with Brosh's punt going in the air back there to him. He geared it down about the 40. And then next one, Vineland tries to press the action up front. Thought I had a new good luck parking spot. I parked over here. Saved me from trying to get out that way. And game started out so good. I'm like, all right, VFW, I may have to join so I can park there.
Millville sends this one. And it's going to be fielded by Diaz. Diaz evades some tacklers and finally brought down around the 30. And some extracurriculars at the end there by a Millville player shoving number 16 of Vineland, Gage Gallo.
I think Gallo did a good job because he had a hold of his shirt trying to pull it down like he's hitting him, trying to get a little bit for us.
It's Marquise Allen. That'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for the start of the fourth. It's 28-7 Millville. You're watching Thanksgiving Day football right here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. And welcome back, everybody. Start of the fourth quarter about to get underway here. Vineland on offense, trailing 28-7. Pass is complete underneath and all the way up past midfield goes Saquon Anderson.
Oh, beautiful pass, beautiful pattern.
Snuck that in the perfect place where only Anderson could get to it.
Come on. Throw over the ball. Throw the flag. Foul the Vineland player back.
10.
Five receivers set. Calderon looking to pass.
Much on the bottom. Oh,
He gets hit.
Oh, come on. They blow it incomplete. Definitely throwing. Nice design there. That late motion pulled Brooks from the center of the field and freed up Much on the bottom in single coverage, and that's where he was trying to get to. Just not enough time to plant and throw as he's hit as his arm's coming forward. Rough day down there for the cheerleaders, standing in the rain all day for their last football game of the year.
2nd and 10 here. And it certainly looked like Millville jumped. Vineland stood still, and the edge rusher to the bottom of your screen jumped across the neutral zone. There we go.
I was wondering if we were going to get a call again.
Yeah.
You know, like, Fan's been riding that line judge really hard. He was trying every way not to throw it. Fan made him throw it, and then he was trying to say, anybody see anybody move?
Yeah.
You know, it's like a battle from the field and off. And, you know, coaching, playing, officiating, and you're silent to what's outside, especially when you're not in a gym. Guy sitting in the top row having a good time, and he's going to tweak you.
2nd and 5. Calderon looking to pass, dumps it to Clark, and it's off his hands, and that was very dangerous. As the Millville defense swarmed around that little dump off. But it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Definitely 2-down territory for Vineland. And with the incompletions, we're just 30 seconds into this 4th quarter. I can remember when I was playing, looking up my Millville game, my last game, and like, oh, it's already the 4th. Knowing I wasn't playing football in college, but wrestling, and it was going to be my last time ever. And it just went so fast.
Calderon looking to pass. He's firing deep, looking for a Fanador, and fell well short of the intended receiver.
Fanador had to step, but the defender's position kept him from getting back to the ball. So 4th down, Vineland will go for it here. Phoebus checks in. Carter checks out. The seniors going through a coaching change, a late coaching hire last year, which really, it's really start practice till last week, second to last week in August. They've been through a lot, and certainly a ton of ability and a good group playing together.
Calderon.
Beautiful screen.
And Clark slips on the turf, incomplete, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for Vineland.
We'll take 3rd down, be 1st and 10.
Not only going through the coaching change, going through not knowing what's going on, adversity, late start, and as I mentioned, having people here that aren't here that were in your freshman class with you, you know, and they've been through it, but they've battled and played tremendously hard. There's been some good and bad games, but it's never been attitude, moping, walking around. Like, there's been fight in that group, and they've been a great group to watch, starting as some of them made their way in as freshmen. A lot of them as sophomores, I can say, oh, next time we're in the playoffs is this group, either junior or senior year, but with some changes in personnel, it just didn't happen as they were close, but just couldn't get over the hump with that one big game they needed.
They hand it off to Wallace.
Number 3.
But I don't know that we've had defensive backs as a group as good as this. I mean, there's been individuals here and there, and there's been really good play, but this group is a real plus group that way.
Wallace picks up a first down.
Ball carried again is number 3.
You see on that one what I mean about Wallace. There's nowhere good to hit. It's knees and elbows, and knees coming right up. I thought he threw a flag late. It's just telling the line crew to move it up.
Ball spotted, 47.
So starting in 1893, for the first time in a long, long time, this one looks like it's going to be 67-67 overall for these two, unless Vineland can mount a great comeback.
Deep shot here for Brooks, and it's almost intercepted by Rayon Carter.
Pass attempts incomplete.
Brooks, like Jordan, hanging in the air for quite a long time on that one. And it's weird, like, I never root against Millville except for when we play them, and then I'm a county guy. You know, so whether it's wrestling, football, whatever, you root. And it's going to be awesome to get to watch some of these players from both teams in college, but especially knowing every Lazier Brooks game is going to be on TV playing at Alabama.
We'll hand this one off. Sliding into second base is Wallace.
Ball carried against number 3. Ball spotted at the 45.
Marcus Offer enjoying his last hits as he knocks somebody to the turf.
Wallace barrels through.
Number 3, Millville.
Pick up a 4.
6'2", 275 center nose tackle, really anchors your lines on both sides for Millville. All-conference player in the best conference in South Jersey.
First and 10.
You know, Millville's offensive line has done a great job today.
Inside handoff for a big gain there. Inside the 30.
Boy, the timing on that, executed perfectly on that counter. No, Vineland jumped out and jumped on. Millville, even though it's a big game, coming in flat. When you're thinking, hey, we're about to play for a state championship, possible #1 in the state, and they're ready to go again.
It's handed off. Good stop there by Jose Phoebus.
You have a lead going into the second half, and then you don't avenge the loss to Winslow, and you lose it. That's going to be a spot where you might start a little slow, but not because you don't want it, but you're playing a team that hasn't achieved nearly what your last opponent did that you were there. And you go and say, oh, 63 or 64 to nothing last year. All right, we got one more game. And you try hard and play hard, but it's different than gearing up for a state semifinal or a state championship. And Vineland helped get them going by playing such a good first half.
Fake the handoff, looking to pass, QB keeper, and brought down by Phoebus and Charles Clark.
Quarterback keeper stopped on building number 10 Vine. Third down.
And the good thing about high school football is you're like, we're losing this one, this one, this one, this one. Then the next year it's like, oh, snap, where'd he come from? Look at that offensive line with all the new starters, and they've held their own. And they're young, and it's going to just go. And they've held their own, not with just the same 5 guys. You know, there's about 7 of them that have been in and out that have really held their own. Next year, hopefully, they'll be on the plus side of things and can start to enforce some will.
Millville looking to pass. Firing to the outside sideline, incomplete. Intended for Xavier McBride.
Fanador jumping under, trying to pick that one. He's not done for the day.
Bring a 4th down.
No offense to my radio buddies over there, but I think next year would be a good one to get WIP down. You've got it from 1893. Teams tied up 67 wins apiece. I think it tells the story. Safety blitz coming. Almost through. Great pickup by the back.
And it's complete to Brooks. And they take him down short of the end zone.
Well, last year with Brooks, it was a highlight reel. He scored in every way possible. There you saw his hands. DeAndre Hopkins, like the hands come out. They get, I mean, not, oh, he's really good because he's fast. Oh, he's really good because he can jump. No, he's really good because he can run. He can do everything, and his hands are outstanding.
Hand off to Wallace.
And he's tackled into the end zone for a Millville score. Shirt can only keep you in it so long, you know? Well, heck of a season for Millville this year, as was last year, but I like how they have the non-public and public rankings, you know, to really let you know who's on the same level with a public school, with just people that live in your town.
Well spotted, kick is up, and it's good. So with about 6.5 minutes to go, 6:43 to be exact, it's 35-7 Millville.
The kicker's gotten stronger and stronger, like figured out how to hit it in the rain and the wetness. Yeah, so Millville on a high turn for them, and Vineland trying to climb up, and guts, determination kept them in for a while. But you know, Millville just much further advanced than Vineland at this stage of the game. And as we mentioned pregame, Millville will be picking up 5th in a row. Before that, Vineland had 4 in a row. It goes in waves, and it's just which team can stay on and ride the wave longer. You know, and it's kind of like that in every sport. You know, I know when I was coaching wrestling, Millville got us real good matches like 6 years in a row. Then we went on a 4-year run. Yeah, and it's just how long can I stay on top? And you may want to win this or that, but you always want to stay on top of your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if this one goes to Diaz again. We could be watching one of our better return men with his last return. Now, if they onside kick it.
Wouldn't put him past him. They will send it deep. And it was Figueroa the third on the return.
Well, get him used to that moving forward.
Before the action picks back up, I do want to give a shout out to VHS alumni, both Nicoletta Giuliani and Tyler Steinbrine, our drumline director. Their debut album from Polaroid Fade dropped on all platforms this week, so congratulations to them. As Vineland gets ready to set up shop around the 25-yard line. Low snap, handed off. Clark bounces around, but he's bounced backwards. Taken down. Bring up second down.
Second down, 13. Play the ball spot at 22.
And the month off for Vineland football players begins if you're not playing another sport, which was kind of neat when Coach Russo came in. It started with not just lifting, agility, speed training.
And a false start for Vineland.
be able to control the ball and control the clock. It's when you have your upperclassmen, like we were talking about, get you 4 a pop from the QB spot.
Calderon rolls out, fires, and incomplete, short of the intended receiver. Buries Hill.
I just pointed because I don't have my glasses and I couldn't do Barry. It's like it's not one I can ID. Yeah, glasses somewhere between the car and up here. I had them in my hoodie pocket, and fortunately I can see far away. I just can't read. You can't read. You can't read. Remember that one? And they're getting on Jalen.
3rd and 17 here for Vineland. Calderon rolls out, fires, completes it to Hill.
That's complete for number 42.
Hill, the sophomore, also plays linebacker.
Ball spot.
Didn't see Carlton Thomas get a touch today, but it's another one of them freshmen that got an awful lot of time, along with Aiden Zinkcraft, who's started from day one as a freshman playing right tackle. Calderon, of course, at quarterback.
George Figueroa the third as well.
Mojica in and out. And they're not, of course, we have a whole freshman team.
Right.
You know, but these are guys that could fill some spots that we had that got a lot of experience, much like our seniors did freshman and sophomore year. And led to their development.
Calderon. Swing pass to Clark is off his hand and incomplete.
Pass attempt is incomplete. Miller takes over.
So Calderon, no time to sit in the pocket. They just have to dump it out short because Millville can tee back knowing the run isn't coming. So Millville going to start at the Vineland 24. Sure, they'd like to get one more in there. You know, Vineland pretty much did all they could. Hang in there for that first half, have a lead to the last minute or so. We talked about playing on emotion and playing on scheme.
Hand this off to Wallace. And Mark Mutcherson with the initial contact, but Wallace still stayed on his feet.
Ball carrier again is number 3 for Millville. His ball to the 20. He's at second down. 6 yards to go for the first.
Sophomore Brandon Lopez in there at the defensive end spot. 6'2", 210.
Hand it off. Wallace evades the tacklers, but he's finally shoved out of bounds by Hill.
Number 3. Moves the ball right to number 5.
First and goal from the 5. Wallace brought down.
Rojas Torres. Yeah, Vineland pretty much did everything they could to hang in here, but Millville just a powerful, powerful, successful football team.
And Wallace barrels his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Make it 41-7 pending the extra point.
A late flag coming in. And another. So they'll short these penalties out. It's probably going to be one each way. Little jawling after the play. Little third person in dance after the play. They offset. Oh. I think Millville picked up an extra one, but they'll try for a point from here to go up 35.
Snap, spot, kick up.
And it's good.
So with 3:11 to go, it's 42-7, Millville.
Well, did what you could and gave you a half of football if you're on the Vineland side. If you're on the Millville side, your team has been incredible all season, and understandably with a little bit of a slow start today, and they certainly turned it on in the second half, looking more like themselves. And not just that, we talked pregame about dealing with conditions. Sunny, warm day, that's what you evaluate teams on. And in these conditions, you know, it kind of helps bring things a little closer together and open up opportunities, as we've seen with 3 and outs, an interception, a couple fumbles that were turnovers, a couple other that hit the ground that, you know, Millville recovered one of their own. It's just a shame that the weather was to the point where this would have been a lot of fun in that first half with a packed house going back and forth. All right, how do we want this to go here? They switch sides, Figueroa and Diaz. What are we waiting on? They're discussing the penalty because there's an extra one on Millville. You're going to enforce it on the kickoff, then they'd be moving them back, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So as I mentioned before, offsetting jawling fouls, for lack of better words, on each team. But somebody coming in came over and did a little jiggle, 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 yeah. And that drew the extra flag. But all in all, this game started with some emotion and tension as Millville approaches the 50. Vineland stands at the 50. They jaw a little bit. And all fine. No pushing, no shoving or nothing, but started with a lot of emotion.
Millville ran out on the field and failed to plant their flag in the middle of the Vineland logo, which I found pretty hilarious, as Diaz brings this up near the 30. And do want to give a shout out to Mr. Joe. He'll be retiring at the end of the year. He has been an absolute staple in the Vineland athletic department, making sure everybody is in tip-top shape, uniformed out, fields ready to go.
Gym set up, equipment ordered. Going from Dennis to Bruce to Joe, for those of you old-time Vineland. And I was there on Joe's first day. What a great guy. Congratulations on that.
Calderon hands it off to Clark. Clark, a nice 5-yard pickup there, maybe 6.
Clark has number 7.
A nice tackle, too.
36 will be second down
Brings it under 2 minutes here.
and 4.
Yeah, the life of, I don't know the exact term, but equipment dude even though it's everything else, I don't want to belittle the title, but you have the horrible hours like the athletic director has. You know, you're there all day, then you got events and everything else, and you got to love it to do it. Congratulations. Blindside pressure, doesn't see it, gets rid of it and gets hit late. That'll be a first down. Vineland.
Personal foul.
Yeah, we got to get the microphones working on the officials again. That was nice when we first lit the field and all. It was good for the officials, get to talk a little bit. Personal foul. Oh, and we had an illegal guy downfield. And a roughing the passer. They will offset.
Offset.
I do want to congratulate this senior class. We've had our fair share with them, a lot of them as freshmen, which is a rarity with this Vineland football program, that you get a full 4 years at the varsity level. They've been an absolute pleasure to cover game in, game out, week in and week out. Extremely talented group, hardworking, incredible leadership skills. Congratulations to all of them on a successful 4-year varsity run here for the Fighting Clan, as Calderon lobs a pop-up, and it is dropped on the interception.
And it's long gone. I already packed my papers up. Of course, no 28.
It would never be on the roster. Any key player we need is not on that roster outside of Brooks and Wallace.
Yeah, and it's been such a good year with the new truck, the VPS, the staff that's here. Like, it's growing back, and I've been told by former boss of everything, John Sabrana, that replay will be back for next year. You know, we've had it in the past, and then lightning strikes and budgets and orders not coming through. We'll have that back for you. Add a field cam, you know, so next year should be a good one.
Yeah, and it's been fun having a full-blown, you know, student-led staff along with ourselves and obviously our senior director, Doug Diola. But working graphics today, Will Miller, scoreboard graphics, Madison Powers, cameras, Arson Mizuki, Kiera Landacini, Evan Roman, audio, Elijah Tomeo, and like I mentioned, the extraordinary Doug Diola making everything go round for us here. As Calderon slides short of the first down.
Millville taking a timeout, and you may say, why are they taking a timeout? Just want to put a couple people on the field to have their moment. You know, we talk about the seniors that started as freshmen and are sophomores and have contributed and are all conference and all this and that. But there's also, as you've done really well on the Guzman's Gridiron, like there's practice team guys, you know, and it's like you may not be starting, but you're given the look of this guy this week. And it's kind of so important, but it's also you got to have the right attitude to stick out and do that. I mentioned in a previous game, our scout running back was John Powers, a guy that could have started on a lot of different teams. But he would have to wear the other guy's number, like spray painted on him. And we didn't talk to him during the week, and we late hit him and he would be angry and agitated to fire us up doing his job. Everybody's got a role to do. You know, not everybody can jump out on the field all the time, but you make your other position better. So if that offensive line got better during a year, it's all of them that have contributed to that.
Calderon fires, and it's incomplete. Be a turnover on downs, and Also want to thank everyone who has tuned in to each and every game from home this season, whether we were on the road, on the side of a field in a gravel lot, up here in our home booth, whatever it may have been. You guys are the reason that we're able to do this when you tune in from home. So big thank you to everybody watching all season long from the comfort of your homes, or if you come out to the games. The fan support this year has been through the roof at Gittone Stadium. It's been awesome to watch everybody coming out and this place be the spot to be on the weekends to support this team.
And if you're not coming out knowing that the games are sitting there, why not make that a little bit of your viewing week, for any alumni, as you've mentioned on the cast, whether you're alumni that played, a school alumni. Like, this is something nice to tie you back into the roots of your community. And it's a vicious rivalry, but when it's all said and done, without each other, what are we doing, And we're one of the last Thanksgiving Day games holding on, and that's a testament to both ADs through the years.
This one's handed off and taken down by Rayon Carter.
And that looks like it.
And that will be the final play here in the 153rd meeting between Vineland and Millville on Thanksgiving Day, a tradition like no other.
Tied up.
We are even Steven, Jerry.
67-67. We'll see you in a year on Thanksgiving to see who's going to take the next lead.
An absolutely amazing first half of football for the Fighting Clan. They gave it all they had, and Millville just able to kind of pull away in that second half. Big thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Thank you to our entire staff for making today's broadcast happen, even in less than ideal conditions. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in all season long. Rich, happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
It is always a blast to be in the booth with you every single season. And don't worry, my voice won't be gone for long as the winter season's right around the corner. You'll hear me for both boys and girls basketball and boys and girls swimming all winter long. And before you know it, it'll be the spring, and then we'll be back in that sweet, sweet summertime. And then before you know it, we'll be right back up here in this booth at Gittone Stadium for another season of Vineland High School football. Once again, your final score, 42-7. Millville takes it. They even up the record at 67, 67, and 19 here in the 153rd meeting between these two rivals. Everybody have a safe and happy Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Be with your families. Have a good time. Be safe. And as always, go Vineland.